Okay, shalom, shalom, everyone. I have a very special guest with me today. Her name is Connie. And for those of you who've been subscribed to my YouTube channel for the last, going back now, I broke this story way back in August. But Connie was the one who, her dad owns JR Engineering, which owned all those different buildings and subsidiaries and all this stuff all throughout Ohio. And of course, there were tunnels beneath these buildings, child sex trafficking going on. And literally within 24 hours after I reported on this, that website that I had actually included in the description box, they had shut down their website and it looped back to the Google page. So they were scared out of their mind. And Connie was the one who helped me get all this information. She is the daughter of the father who owns all this stuff. And she now, for the first time, has agreed to show up with me here, and
better.
We're going to go over a lot of the stuff that I talked about back then, but also some new things, new subjects that we're going to get into involving, her dad, the business he runs, and other things. And I want to be clear just up front that her dad did not in any way commit pedophilia against Connie, but it was just as bad. He knew about things that were going on with his daughter and still did nothing to stop it, which in my mind is just as horrific. I can't imagine any parent doing that, knowing their daughter is being...
Well, he didn't know until later, Daniel.
Well, yeah, but even when he knew, he
didn't know. Yeah, right. That's the point. He didn't do anything. He yelled at me and actually financially cut me off.
Right.
With two babies.
So let me, I'm going to start off by just letting you sort of introduce yourself, Connie, and then I'll get into some questions, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Connie. My maiden name is Bilinovich. I really prefer not to get into my current name. So I was born in Barberton, or near Barberton, Ohio, where my father has these companies that just the history of it, none of it really adds up too much. Like, how can you come from Hungary in the 40s and then open this major company that has defense contractors? I joined the Army. I could never stand my home life at all. I just never fit in. It just was always uncomfortable for me. Just they were perverted, and they were very misogynistic. Like, the men rule and the women are nothing. And that's a repeated pattern throughout all of my family. Like, the women are so degraded and so less than that it's pretty disgusting, actually. But so I didn't know I was abused until like later in my 30s. But there had been weird things leading up to I really don't know why I didn't put it all together a lot quicker. But so I went off to join the Army, and the night before the Army, I stayed in this back room that we had talked about previously, or I think Stoney and I had talked about. And when I went back there, I found this bondage gear. Now, I was 5'8", 123 pounds, so like size 0, really thin. And that bondage gear didn't fit me. Like, I tried to put it on my legs, and it was on like a low platform that had lights all around it. So that would have been in 1983. And now I think that they probably blackmailed contractors, like from Ford, General Motors, Alcoa, who knows, all that, they did a lot of manufacturing for a lot of the major companies in America. So there's always been a lot of pornography. Like, one time my girlfriend said, hey, me and my husband need like a movie. So my dad had this whole closet in the back room filled with pornography. And I wish I could get my hands on that today, because it probably has home movies. But so I gave her that pornography, and she gave it back to me and said that was the most disgusting thing she'd ever seen in her life. She's still alive today, that if I ever did go to court, or if the FBI ever did investigate me, this is stuff that, that these people are still here that could tell the story of at least what they saw. And so they had the back room, and there was always like massage people that would come back. One time they hired people, this lady from Thailand that would do like Thai massages, and then they had like these probes. They would like stick probes on you, and you'd put your hands in the water. And I don't know if it was like clearing the energy they thought or what. I mean, I wish I asked more questions, but I didn't. You know, it was supposed to be good for you to do it, extend your life. So, like now, I wonder when the Thai lady came, did she have like how many other Thai people were there? Were there other kids, or who knows? I mean, I'm just speculating now, but these are questions that I have to ask myself.
Right.
But we go back to the back room, and there are a lot of priests that would come back there for the massages and to do the healing treatments, and like there were saunas and jacuzzis and barber shop and a pool table and all that back there. And so priests would often frequent there. And now what I know now, it's like, well, what does a priest have business being back there with customers, with pornography, with like none of that really adds up. And so they come from the Youngstown diocese, which I've been trying to investigate them, and there's a lot of corruption. The state of Ohio won't investigate it, and they're probably tied into the Pittsburgh diocese as well. But man, that needs to be investigated. Like, what the heck's a priest coming back into business meetings for? Running around in his underwear, letting women see him in his underwear. But so that was just, the odd things that would happen before I woke up. So one day I woke up and I realized, oh my God, my dad abused me. And so I confronted my dad, and he told me to get the F out of his office. And like, I called him I called him a misogynist. He goes, and what's that? I said, well, it's worse than a male chauvinistic pig. And he just pointed at the door and told me to get the F out. And so I left, and I've only seen him a couple times since then. But I did call the FBI at that time, and they never investigated. I mean, it seems like they might have indicated to my family, oh, look, she made a report. But it caused my son stopped talking to me and told me I was causing an S storm. And, you know, they just never did anything. They never asked me. They never asked my aunts. I mean, I have videos of these people talking. I have story after story after story that need to be investigated, like people who've died and abuse. Like I know I keep bouncing all around, but I tried to report this also to an attorney. And when I called this attorney, he said to me, I just need you to know you're not the only one. You're like the fourth person who has contacted me about your Uncle Tom. It was Tom Bilinovich who sodomized me from the age of 3 to 9. That I know that he did it to other people because an attorney told me, but I can't get it investigated by the FBI or the local police. And, really, what can I do? I mean, I'm very limited. But so that coincidentally, after I reported it to the FBI, one of the shops, it was called B&C Corporation, they tore it down. And that was where the back room was, where all the pornography was, where I found that the bondage gear. They tore it down. And now if you drive by there, it's with these white vans, like FEMA vans. And the fence faces inward, like to keep people in instead of keep people out. And I will go around one of these days when I feel secure enough and make a video of all the plants and show you that. And
Right. I remember when I first reported this story that basically your dad and this company, I mean, basically he has buildings all over Ohio, correct? Or is it just in that area? Yeah, it's all over.
It's just in this area, but my dad owns an island in Canada, which there's a whole story with that too. Like he had an island in Canada we used to fly and land on the water.
And
And
so
one year, we
it's a manufacturing plant, right? That's how that's what they give the impression of, that it's a manufacturing plant that they do to manufacture things. But
correct.
what and before we go any further, because I already know there's going to be people that say, well, wait a minute, how come Connie didn't remember any of this stuff until her 30s? And I want you to just explain that, because I think people still don't understand about MK
The
Ultra.
repressed memories.
They don't understand about even just basic traumatic things that happen as a little, when you're little and you get this horrible sodomy and all this stuff. So just go into that a little bit more.
Well, something was always off in my life. Like I ran away from home as soon as I can. I mean, how many millionaire kids join the army as a private E1? Something was off. And so I don't know why I didn't remember. I had no memories of my childhood, period. And my father is aware of that. We were going through pictures one day and I said, who's that? He goes, well, that's you. And I didn't, he goes, you really don't remember. And now I look back, I think, God, that's so creepy that he said that. So it was just gone. And I think that maybe I got to a point in my life to where I felt safe and secure and comfortable enough, and or God, who knows, it was just time to start having the flashbacks, and that's what they were, they're flashbacks. And
Right. So as far as you're aware,
pardon me?
I was just going to ask, so as far as you're aware, there was no, or at least you don't know for sure, if there was any type of MK Ultra or mind programming that was done to you when you were little, or you aware of anything like that, or no?
I'm not aware of anything like that, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Right.
Like, how come, like, my aunts, everybody that I interview, they don't remember significant parts of their life.
Right. Right. Well,
So I think that my family is drug running, gun running, human trafficking, and the sexual satanic stuff is more like family, like like a generational family thing that they've passed down.
right. Right. Well, and also I know, I remember us talking about this, and then I also talked with another guy from Ohio too, that implicated Governor Kasich with, his daughter. He knew his daughters were involved at this school where there was definitely satanic pedophilia going on. He did nothing about it, but that a lot of this child sex trafficking is done to try to provide blackmail for politicians, and that and
Yeah, and that's what my dad did. It's called Bronstone. And take this, there's a YouTuber out there, I don't know to say names or whatever, but he's talks about the Bronstone. There's a lot of fabrication sometimes with this person as well, but like, boy, did he sure open my eyes about what exactly was going on with the Bronstone and how they would entrap, like, oh, here comes a General Motors guy. He don't know. He's going to wake up naked next to some kid, or who knows. But the back room would have been a perfect place for that to happen.
right.
For sure.
Right. Let's talk about, because I have this written down here of the things we wanted to go over. So let's first talk about World Mission. I want you to tell everything.
Now So my brother has inside of engineering. JR Wheels, my father's company. JR Engineering is my brother Louis. And I'm just going to say, if you're watching this, Louis, you've never done the right thing once in your entire life. Never. You're a pathological liar and used to beat up your poor brother who had celiac disease. So anyway, if he's watching. But there's this World Missions, which is from Korea, which they say that Jesus was born already in Korea and he died. And now there's a mother God that took over World Missions. So it's called World Mission Society Church of God. So they're around the world. Now, if you research them, they have recently, like, I don't know if you have access to a computer. I didn't bring my other phone in to look up, but if you Google world missions human trafficking, they have been within this last year accused of human trafficking on college campuses and kicked off of college campuses for approaching people in such a scary way that they report that, man, these people are trying to traffic me. So this is crazy too. You can Google Vietnam and world missions and you'll discover that country of Vietnam kicked out world missions. And in the article that it'll pop up, it talked about that they gave their people in the church secret elixir that mind controlled them. Yeah. So that's creepy. Now my brother, they do a lot of manufacturing for Korea, like for Hyundai, and I don't know what the other companies are, but I know they made wheels and some other car parts for Hyundai back in the day. And my brother is big into Taekwondo. He's like a 5th degree black belt. He's been doing it his whole life, which he lies about. His kids don't know he's a martial artist. But you're going to get into that about martial art and human trafficking because it's tied into the South Korea. And it seems like a lot of the human trafficking and sex trafficking is coming from South Korea. But so that's just another tie to my dad through Hyundai, through the world missions, through South Korea. That's just, these are questions I have that if an investigator would ask me this, this is kind of where I would lead them to go.
Right. Absolutely. Let's talk.
Okay. So now you're aware, like, it's a conspiracy, but I think it's like, I don't know, but it's like the campus police don't really report missing people. Like they don't report the same as the national parks, like to the regular police. So, and if someone was missing in human trafficking, how would we know? Like they can't tell us, oh yeah, we got human trafficked by world missions. The point is to not know. So it needs to be investigated, world missions. I beg your viewers to get on it for sure. Post whatever you can about world missions. World Mission Society, Church of God. And now, if I could go by, probably after this video, they'll remove all the signs and everything, but it's a big warehouse right in the factories. Now, you got to understand another thing. These factories were built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and there's tunnels all through the town. And so, and there's train tracks, like, I'm like, it needs to be investigated like a lot, like further than just, I don't know, they need to somehow get in the tunnels. There's tunnels. They need to get down. They need to figure that out. And until they get down in there and look, I'll never believe they fully investigated.
Right. Right.
Like, I think there's thousands of people down there. What would it take to have a whole machine shop down there running?
And just so
manufacturing.
Just so everyone knows, we are going to do a second interview with Connie, and she's going to have the map of all these tunnels, all this, the plans. She's gonna actually show it, and we'll do that in a later interview very soon. But
right. I just got to pull up the history of Ohio. Like I'm going to get the historical maps. I'm going to get the bunkers that were built in Akron and Barberton in the 40s for, a nuclear fallout. There's again, it's all, you have to connect the dots, but it's beyond what any of us can do. I mean, we need a real investigators getting down and doing this. And until they investigate that, and like, I wish I could go down in the tunnels. But one more thing about the tunnels, they have abandoned mine maps online for insurance reasons. And coincidentally, every one of my father's homes and my uncle's homes and my brother's homes have abandoned mines on them.
Wow.
Big ones. And one, oh my God, it goes on and on. One where there's abandoned mine, there's a farm across the street that they used to practice voodoo. And now my aunt, who would gladly talk to you, will tell you how they tried to get her to go to Africa to practice voodoo. So coincidentally, it's now a farm and a big cornfield. And last time I drove by there, you'll never believe what they have. They have like this medical facility in the middle of a cornfield. Yeah. It's on Taylor Road in Clinton, Ohio, right after Boffman Road. If you look, like, why would you have a medical facility in the middle of like BF Nairobi, you know? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Right. That's
And
very
there's a lot with the whole farm. That whole farm, like prior to my dad buying it, was a nudist colony. And it had like these old abandoned homes from ancient homes. We used to go and dig around in them and never found, found arrowheads and bottles and stuff. But
right. Let's talk about case on Marfugal.
okay, so God, what a coincidence. Actually, I called the Ohio AG a couple days ago, and I kind of was not very polite to them, and I recorded it when I wanted to know why 800,000 kids are missing every year and there's nothing done, and that I suspected my family and that no one ever did anything. I called the police, and so I'm tired and I'm done. It's like I can't. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Scream from rooftops about it. So the next morning at 4:30 in the morning, Marfugal comes on, and I'm a morning person, so I catch it. I love his program. He talks. It's kind of like Art Bell. He's really good. So he takes this caller, and her name is Casey Case, and apparently she escaped from my family. She talked about JR engineering. She talked about a lot about having faith in God and all this really other amazing stuff. But she was afraid to come forward, and she like confirmed the whole everything. And she's 19 years old, and now her name is significant. It has meaning that only the family would know. And so if that helps her to realize, I know what the name means, and if he can contact you or reply in the video somehow anonymously or whatever, I'm just encouraging her. She's got to come forward. She's got to make her video. There's so how many other people have been hurt. I'm 55. She's 19. Figure it out. How many people have they hurt? I know my attorney told me 4 that he knows have been sodomized as children. I have my other uncle, who I can show you in the next video, that got arrested for pedophilia for 3 charges over a period of years, dismissed every one. He died, thank God, but he ran beauty pageants. He ran the preliminaries for Miss America, by the way, that's crazy. But yeah, I have all, like, I don't know where they are, but I have all this printed out. So next time we get together, I can at least show it, hold it up, that and the map mines and some historical information about the area and the mines and the tunnels here.
Okay. I want you also to share about the good news you have about the chemical exposure and President Trump.
Yeah, so coincidentally, I got exposed really bad at Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. And the VA has denied it. The DOD's denied it. Everybody has denied it. I've written Obama, Sherrod Brown, Orrin Hatch, John McCain, Mike Bennett. I mean, I have really thrown down for this. And finally, I had enough, and I wrote the director of my VA, and I forwarded it to Donald Trump, along with the EPA violation report. And it was a week ago Friday, VA Comp and Penn called me, and it's going to get approved, finally. So finally, like, I'm not going to be starving or having to go to the dang food bank, but I could cry, actually.
I've heard a lot of similar stories. In fact, there's a lady who is an ex-nun who gives a really amazing testimony about all the abuse that she saw at the church. But she had also applied for benefits as well, or not benefits, but she was trying to report all this stuff, and she never got a positive response under the Bush administration or under the Obama administration.
No.
And finally, when she got to the Trump administration, she finally got a positive response, and they were actually doing something. They were actually helping her.
They're helping me in so many ways. They sent a driver for me for my many doctor appointments. I have a ton of health issues, like, I'm bleeding where I shouldn't, and, urine and cysts everywhere in my liver and my pancreas. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I try to eat organic. And if I didn't do that, I would be dead. But I made it long enough to fight, long enough to win. So now hopefully other veterans who were stationed there can get the help they need.
Absolutely.
Makes me cry. I'm so happy. Like, I finally will be able to breathe financially and maybe get a car and, eat organic all month long, not just 2 weeks out of the month,
Right. And how can my subscribers, because I know I've had subscribers who've wanted to help you before, then they try to find your Twitter account and it's locked down. So
I know. I get so paranoid. I always disappear because I will admit the shills get to me, and the liars and the tricksters, and I'm just trying to tell my story to help people. I'm trying to help Casey Case right now.
absolutely.
So anyway, I'm okay. I'd rather them help people who need it right now. There was one time that I didn't have furniture or bed or anything, but I've been blessed beyond anything. So I'm actually really good right now, Daniel, but I appreciate all the offers. But there's plenty of other victims out there who could use help.
Can you go a little bit more? I'm sort of backtracking a little bit, but can you go a little bit more into
No, it's okay.
into the ties of your family with Nazi Germany and Hitler and all this stuff?
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Gosh, I wish that somebody was here to help me research it further. My grandma seems like came from the same town as Hitler, which is bizarre to me. And if you study the history of the town where I'm coming, where the factories are and where they came to, the town was set up by Masons prior to people getting there. So it's just really weird, like how it all, for 100 years before it happened, they knew, in a way. But I think that my family escaped Hungary. I look Jewish, but I'm supposed to be Hungarian, but I don't know. I should do a DNA test. But so they escaped Hungary and then opened this business, but they escaped through the Catholic Church. But we all know what that is. I mean, they came here, they got funded, and Operation Paperclip on me, or there were other ways that they funded the money. But my dad has these gold bars. I'm talking huge gold bars. For my whole life, he's had them. And there was a rumor in the 60s. I was born in 63, so I think it was prior to me born or right around me being born, that they had a submarine in Tampa Bay that had gotten stolen, that they used to go to South America back and forth. And my dad did have a treasure map, and he said he found the gold bars in a sunken treasure. I don't know. I mean, everything's bullshit. So, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, everything, what's fact and what's not. I know I saw a map. I know I saw gold bars. I believe them that they had a submarine that went to South America. I believe that. And the ties are uncanny.
So, guys, we've talked about this in other interviews about Operation Paperclip, that the Nuremberg trials largely were a sham, and a lot of these Nazis that should have been prosecuted and convicted and
end up
came over to the United States. They came over to UK. They went down into South America. And I want to make it very clear to everyone that's watching, and those of you also who watched my previous story on this JR Engineering and the different subsidiaries of this company that her dad ran. We're not just talking about child sex trafficking. We're talking about all levels of human trafficking, drug trafficking, gun running, Of course, child sex trafficking is one of the most.
Like making missile casings,
Go ahead, Connie.
maybe missile casings for your plated uranium, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of what. Who knows what they make out of those tunnels?
Unfortunately, we're losing the signal.
Are you losing me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. We had some good stuff.
Let me go ahead.
There.
Let's see if go ahead and shut off your video, and maybe that'll improve the audio quality. That might help. Yeah, it looks like.
I don't know how to do that, Daniel.
Is there? Oh, well, yeah, you're just frozen right now. But sometimes if you shut off the video, it'll improve the audio. But in any case, yeah. So this is
okay. Well,
all different levels of what you know, her father's business has been running. And so I'm going to go ahead and link to the original video that I did on this story way back.
Daniel, can I stop for 1 minute? I got to tell a story about 1972. Me and my dad were having ice cream at a place called Sweet Henry's, and he was talking about robotics. And I looked at him, I said, "But Dad, what about the people?" And he looked at me and his eyes got twisted around and he said, "We'll own them. They'll be our slaves."
Right. Right.
So that's the mentality forever that he's had.
Absolutely.
That I remember.
That is diabolical. Diabolical.
Is it? Yeah. Sorry, I had to interrupt that. I thought that was important.
No, that's very good. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to link to the original video that I did back in August when I first interviewed Connie, you know, off camera, and she gave me all this information. And then I think it was like a day or two later, I made another video called Victory in Ohio, where that at least one of the websites got pulled down. And so that way you guys will get some basics.
Oh, stop. Okay. I need somebody said that they had a copy of the website. I did not screenshot it. And so I would really, really, really like to have a copy of the contractors that they have.
Yeah, somebody in my subscribers said they screenshotted it before they took the website down. So whoever that was, and I don't know who that was, because that was
that's like really important.
Video. I remember because I directed all my subscribers to that website, and also saying, if you live in Ohio, we need to raise the roof about this. And I know several people even contacted President Trump about this. But yeah, literally less than 24 hours later, that website got taken down. So if anyone did take that screenshot, I do remember some subscribers mentioned that in the comment section.
Yeah, you told me that. That's why.
To me, and I can forward that on to Connie.
That would be really helpful. And you know, if your subscribers have any questions, maybe one day we can go live and then they can ask. I feel like we bounce all around and I never really get the juicy stuff out that people want to hear. But
well, what I think with the second interview, we're definitely going to have those plans and the tunnels and the maps. And then I still don't have the capability of going live. I just haven't figured it out yet. But
okay,
we can definitely do another, because I'm sure what's going to happen is we're going to get a lot of comments of people asking questions. And so what I'll do is I'll start fielding through those questions. I'll forward them to you, and then we can organize a second interview based around those questions that we get.
All right, that'll be great.
Okay, perfect.
That'll be great. Guys, and so I just also want to make clear for people who are listening that I have recordings of other family members who are coming forward. So Casey Case isn't the only one. And they're naming names, and I'm sharing these videos, so I'm not the only one with a copy, just to let my family know, because if they watch these, there's people coming forward, and you are going to go to jail. So
who's going to go to jail?
My brother, my father, my uncle, my cousins. Huh.
Hallelujah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully more than just jail. These crimes against humanity, folks, again, I mean, I'm still getting people saying, "Oh, Daniel, you're not being compassionate enough." Guys, when you're talking about, well, just let Jesus.
No, there's no cure for my father, for my brother. There's no cure. He was raised that way. He was born to be a sociopath. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about humanity. They let coolant from the chips drip into the water supply. Okay? They don't care. These people have no conscience. Zero.
Yeah, and guys, just remember Jesus' own words. He said that for these people who cause the little ones to stop, pedophiles, that it's better to have a millstone tied around their neck and cast into the ocean. That is what Jesus himself said about these sick satanic pedophiles. So I apologize for the video not being as good as I was hoping it would be, but I think we got the gist of this, and I'm definitely going to have Connie on again once, maybe even a second time as well after this, because there's just so much information that needs to be not only discussed on the internet like we're doing, but we, like Connie said, we don't have the tools to do the investigation that really needs to be done with these tunnels and whatnot. We've got to really grab Trump's ear and get whoever needs to be done to start going through and investigating all these tunnels. And this not only goes for Ohio, but also down in ORU, where stuff is still going on.
Okay, so the town is Barberton, Ohio. Just start slamming the police and calling them. And my father lives in Franklin Township, Ohio. Start calling the police and asking them why you wouldn't take Connie Bilinovich's police report in the early 90s when her uncle sodomized her.
Right.
Like, have them call. I don't care. Call. Just do whatever. You guys can't sit back and do nothing. You want to help me? That's what you help me do.
That's right.
Help me scream from rooftops.
Spell that last name again.
Bilinovich. Bilinovo. as in Victor, ICH.
Okay, guys, and I'm going to be putting this information right below this video. So you have a clear call to action. You know what to do. This is a no-brainer. It's so easy. And I have to say, guys, I am a little disappointed because I have 28,000 subscribers, and I think I got a couple hundred that bothered to lift their finger and sign the petition. But come on, fine, forget about the petition and make these phone calls. This is something that you can do to help raise this, because I guarantee you right now, Connie is not the only victim, okay? There's stuff going on right now.
Right now, this Christmas, there are people in that dungeon, and my uncle and his kids are probably sodomizing them and doing their little satanic rituals on them. And there's probably people in there that are being organ harvested and slave labor and fed drugs, and then all the heroin given out in my county, which is outrageous how many people are dying from heroin, which I heard is coming from my father again. Now, I don't know, but I hope he tries to sue me. But he'll never sue me because I'm telling the truth. So anyway, yeah, just pray for the people in the dungeons. Oh, my God. Oh,
Yeah, amen.
It's horrible.
All right, Connie, thank you so much.
Okay, yeah.
Me and everybody, you have a call to action. I'm going to provide all the information below this video, and very soon we will have Connie on again. Hallelujah.